You're sitting, eyes closed, finally doing it right this time. Your breath slows down, thoughts drifting by like clouds, and there you are, watching, the silent observer, detached, aware, spiritual. You feel it, that quiet satisfaction, that sense of progress. I'm not my thoughts anymore. I'm the one watching them. And for a moment, it feels true. Like you finally stepped outside the noise. Like you found the position everyone talks about. The witness, the awareness behind it all. But something's off. There's still effort here. A subtle monitoring. Someone keeping score. And if you're honest, really honest, that observer you're so proud of being, it gets tired. It gets bored. It checks how much time is left. It wonders if it's doing this right. The truth is, the one you think is watching is just another mask. It's the final costume the mind wears when it wants to feel evolved. Ramana Maharshi spent decades pointing to something most spiritual seekers don't want to hear. He said the silence we're looking for isn't a state of mind. It's not something you cultivate or practice or become good at. For Ramana, true silence, mauna, was the complete absence of the one who claims to be silent. Not the absence of sound, not the absence of thoughts, the absence of the I that says, I am being silent. Today, we simply allow this teaching to meet whatever's happening in you right now. The observer you've built, the witness you've become. We're going to look at it. Think about what happens when you meditate. You try to step back. You try to watch your thoughts without getting caught in them. I'm observing my anxiety. I'm noticing my anger. I'm aware of my patterns. This feels like progress, like you're finally getting somewhere, because now there's distance, space between you and your experience. But who is creating that distance? Ramana would ask it simply, to whom does this observing occur? When you actually look, when you try to find the observer, what's there? Another thought. The thought, me. The thought, I. You haven't stepped outside the mind. You've just created another layer inside it, another position, another identity. The controller pretending to be the witness. You're watching your thoughts, being a good meditator. Then a difficult emotion arises. Fear, maybe, or shame. And immediately, the observer gets busy. I see you, fear. I'm holding space for you. I'm not identified with you. It sounds enlightened. But notice what's actually happening. Someone is there, adjusting the posture, softening the breath just so, monitoring the tone of voice inside your head, making sure the awareness looks natural, effortless, evolved. That someone? Still the ego, just wearing different clothes now. Or you're in the middle of an argument. Your partner says something that lands wrong. There's that flash of defensiveness. And if you've been practicing, you catch yourself. I'm noticing defensiveness arising. Who's noticing? Who's performing this noticing? There's still a me there. A me trying very hard to be conscious. A me monitoring its own state. A me that would be disappointed if it failed to observe. You're not free from the defensiveness. You've just created a meta-defensiveness. The ego defending its position as the one who's aware of defending. And this is exhausting, because the watching never ends. There's always another layer to observe, another reaction to catch, another moment to be mindful of. The observer you've built has to stay on duty, vigilant, earning its spiritual position. The observer you've cultivated, this silent witness you've worked so hard to become, what if it's just the mind's final bunker, its last place to hide? Because as long as there's an observer, there's still someone there, still a sense of me, and that me, no matter how quiet, no matter how aware, is the root of everything you're trying to be free from. Ramana said it clearly. The ego and the mind are one and the same. The observer watching the mind is not outside the mind. It's the mind watching itself, creating the illusion of separation. When you say, I am aware, where does that awareness seem to be located? Behind your eyes, right? In your head somewhere. As if there's a little person sitting back there, watching the screen of your experience. But that's a thought. The sense of being located, of being a witness in a specific place, that's manufactured. It's the I thought wearing a meditation cushion. Actually try this right now. Try to find the observer. Where is it? Can you locate it? Can you point to where the witness lives? Or maybe there's just observing happening, awareness occurring, but no one there claiming it. No me taking ownership of the seeing. Ramana spent his entire life pointing to this, not as philosophy, as direct investigation. He would tell his students, the investigation into the nature of the self is the only way. But this investigation isn't about finding something. It's about seeing through the one who's looking. You sit down to meditate at 6 a.m. The house is quiet. You've set your timer for 20 minutes. You close your eyes and begin watching, witnessing, being present. 5 minutes in, a thought about work appears. You notice it. Good. You're doing it. You let it pass. Another thought comes. Something you forgot to do yesterday. You observe it too. You're the space these thoughts move through. You're the silent awareness. Then your leg starts to hurt. You notice the sensation. You don't move. You're aware of the discomfort. You're not the discomfort. You're the one observing the discomfort. But who is aware of the observing? Who is the one congratulating itself for not moving the leg? Who is keeping track of how well this is going? The observer, the witness, the silent one. Except it's not silent at all. It's narrating the entire time. I am watching the thought. I am noticing the sensation. I am being present. Layer after layer of I am doing the spiritual work of watching. And beneath all of it, a quiet hope. The hope that if you do this long enough, perfectly enough, something will finally shift. You will finally become free. But the one hoping is the trap. Ramana's inquiry cuts through everything. Who am I? Not as a mantra, not as a practice to perfect, as a genuine investigation into the nature of this I that claims to be observing. Every time you notice yourself trying to witness, trying to observe, trying to be conscious, turn it back. Who is trying? And when you look for that one, what's actually there? Not a person, not a witness, not an observer sitting in stillness, just the space in which all of this appears, the silence that was never disturbed by the noise in the first place. The observer you've been building is the ego's emergency exit, its plan B. When it can't be the doer anymore, it becomes the watcher. When it can't control the experience, it becomes the one who's aware of not controlling. But even that position Even that spiritual identity, it's seen, it's known, it's occurring in something that has no position at all. Ramana said, "Silence is the most powerful speech. It is the unceasing flow of language, not the silence you create by quieting your thoughts. The silence that remains when the one who would be silent is seen through completely. This isn't the peaceful silence you imagined. This is the silence of no one being there to claim the peace, no one monitoring whether they're doing it right, no observer cataloging the experience of observing. So, what happens to your practice now? Thoughts still arise, emotions still move, the body still sits. But there's no one there trying to maintain the position of witness, no one performing consciousness. The observing just happens, like breathing, like hearing, without anyone claiming to be the observer." Ramana said, "Be as you are, not become more aware, not develop the witness, just be, without the addition of someone being. The silence you've been trying to cultivate is already here. It's what allows the noise. It's what allows the observer. It's what allows the entire game of seeking and finding and trying to be spiritual. But it belongs to no one. It is no one. What if the observer you've worked so hard to become is the only thing between you and what you're looking for? What if the silent witness is just the ego's final costume? And what if, when you stop trying to observe, when you stop trying to be aware, something remains that was never trying at all? The chattering mind doesn't need a silent observer. It needs the observer to be seen as another movement of that same mind. And in that seeing, both the noise and the one who would witness it dissolve, not as something you achieve, as what you are when you stop pretending to be the one achieving. Stay with us, not to arrive at silence, but to see that the one looking for it was the only sound. The searching stops when the searcher is seen,